Ledyard National Bank presents this special segment. Ledyard National Bank wants to congratulate Bruce King on the wonderful career serving his community. They thank him for his continued guidance and leadership as an integral member of Ledyard's Board of Directors.
I'm Laura James for YCN, and we're speaking with Bruce King, who is the president and CEO of New London Hospital.
Delighted to be here.
Oh, we have a little problem, don't we? Keep talking off air about all these wonderful stories connected with the hospital. And isn't it a joy?
It has been a joy. It's been wonderful to be part of this community.
It really is. So I want to start with talking about the book you mentioned.
Sure.
Tell us more about it, and it sounds wonderful.
Well, last year, as many of the listeners are aware, we celebrated 100 years, and so we took advantage of that, if you will, in terms of having an event, every month, and it was just a series of celebrations for the history and the legacy of the hospital. During our thought process, we actually said, wouldn't it be nice to document the history of that? Sure. And we had Karen Zerhide, somebody who a lot of people know, used to be a work employee of here, and we asked her to be the author of collecting the history, and she actually has a book that is available both in Morgan Hill and in our gift shop still available. And I actually went through the process of, we identified all of our former doctors, trustees, longtime employees, and I personalized the book and made sure to hand every one of them. It's a great history. It's a great read. It goes back to the 1918 to 2018.
Goodness.
So it was
I didn't realize
wonderful.
Karen authored it. That's wonderful.
Karen authored it, and she did a terrific job.
That sounds great. So if you'd like to get a copy of that, it's easy. As you said, you can get it here at the hospital.
At the gift shop, yeah.
Yeah, at the gift shop or Morgan Hill Bookstore. So
Correct.
That's perfect. Well, here in New London, New Hampshire, of course. So we've talked about the history. Tell me about the future as you see it for New London Hospital.
I think the future for New London Hospital is bright. That's part of the reason I think that I concluded that this is a good time for me to move on. So, we have, as I've mentioned earlier, strong clinical relationships. We are in our 7th year of the Dartmouth-Hitchcock affiliation in Dartmouth-Hitchcock Health. We're in the midst of converting our systems, and so for the community to hear, our entire medical record is going to be the same as Dartmouth's come May of next year. So we're underway so that the MyDH, you won't have multiple portals, you won't have information that's not being exchanged. It is going to be one of it. It's a tremendous amount of lift.
That's a big effort.
It's a huge amount of work that by the end of this calendar year, all of our business transactions will have cut over. So it will be common, common payroll, accounts payable. So all the business functions, IS, will be, and we're embarking on the clinical. So all of the clinicals will be the same. It really is a huge step forward. And I think that is actually going to set up New London even better because we won't have competing and conflicting systems. So I think the future's bright. I think that Dartmouth is recognizing the value of this institution, continues to sort of provide us with more and more clinical services as the demand is merited, and I think that we actually have a very positive future.
Now, the demand for that will increase as our generation ages out a bit. But there's something really exciting going on in town that will be a connection for folks our age. Can you tell us about that?
Sure. So I think you're referring to New London Place. And as many of folks know, that in the 16 years I've sat in this seat, it's always been a quest. The hospital owns 60 acres of contiguous land. The medical complex is only about 10 acres. So what we have been working on for a long time is some senior living community that would be on our property. We have partnered with a developer out of Maine. The company is called Continuum. They're out of Lewiston, Maine. We will be selling 43 of our acres to Continuum, and they are intending to stand up a senior living community that will have independent cottages, something in the neighborhood of 25 cottages, which will be for sale. And then they'll have a large lodge, is what they're calling it. And the lodge will have apartments which will be for sale, and apartments which will be for rent. It will also have assisted living apartments, and it will have a 20-unit memory care unit so that people can age in place. It will have everything, you know, that a Kendall or a CCRC, a continuing care retirement community, has, except for the nursing home piece. So that's not going to be. But any, you know, short-term health care needs can be provided, you know, by the hospital. The hospital will have a really strong relationship clinically, you know, in terms of providing care, and so, you know, it'll be right on our campus.
You can find out more about that on the website as well. So when we come back in our next segment, Bruce, I'd like to hear more about what your plans are.
Okay,
You've
sure.
been a big member of our community, so
Yeah.
we'll talk more about that next
Look
time.
forward to it.
Yeah. I'm Laura James for YCN.